Today we're doing a quick video. It's going to be about 5 things that you must do in order to win with Falco. These things are all non-negotiable. You have to have this tech skill. You will not find a Falco player out there that wins at any kind of remotely high level that cannot do all of these things. So if you're lost and you're looking for something to work on and you main Falco, you should learn to do one of these things because it will level up your game immediately, take you to that next rank, or help you beat someone at your local. We're going to get right into it. The first one is really simple. Everybody knows with Falco you got to be able to short hop laser, but I'm not just here to say, oh, you have to short hop laser. What I want to talk about is that you must have the ability to short hop laser super duper fast. I mean, seriously fast. You have to be able to do it as fast as the game lets you, or you're just not going to be able to compete at a high level with Falco. And that's because laser's already a pretty slow move relative to all the really fast top tiers, and it doesn't really get you that much frame advantage when you hit it. Now, frame advantage is the amount of time that you have to move ahead of your opponent because they're in the hit stun, right? So you need to be able to move quickly after a laser, and you need to be able to execute the laser very quickly. So go into your favorite training mode mod. I know that there's a new version of training mode. I do not have it downloaded yet, but that's okay because I'm sure it's close enough to this old one that everything that I say will transfer here. You're going to want to enable your fast fall timing, and you're going to want to enable your L cancel timing. And once you've, or not your L cancel timing, sorry about that, you're going to want to enable your fast fall timing and act out of lag and act out of jump, all that stuff. And then you start shooting lasers. Now, if you're doing this correctly, and no one can do this every time or with 100% accuracy, so if you do it correctly, though, you'll see it'll say fast fall and act out of auto cancel frame 1 or 2. Sometimes you'll get 3 if you fuck it up a little bit. Now, the reason we were going for fast fall frame 1 like this, but act out of auto cancel frame 2, is because of a game theory that I have, which is that for certain things where the punishment for failing is very, very rough, you actually want to aim for frame 2. And that's because if I were to aim for act out of auto cancel frame 1, it would mean that I'm trying to jump the first frame the game lets me. Now, if I go a little bit too fast, in that case, I'm going to end up getting a grounded laser, which could really screw me over. But if I go for act out of auto cancel frame 2, when I go a little bit too fast, I just get an even faster laser. All's good. We can waste a frame here and there for the sake of consistency. However, you do need to fast fall on frame 1. That's because you can buffer the fast fall. It will buffer it for a while if you tap down at the right time. So that we can aim for frame 1 on every time. So this is what you want to see while you're spamming lasers. This will tell you that you're shooting them as fast as possible. This is especially important the better your opponent is, and it's especially important the faster their character is, or if they're also playing Falco, so that you can win the laser war. Alright, so with the laser covered, we're going to move on to the next thing, which is the Westballz shine. This is a form of multi-shining. It's not the same thing as just doing a double shine. It's when you double shine like this, you will be airborne on the second one, and then once you are airborne on the second one, you will waveland down like that out of it. And you want to be able to do this really quickly, get really fast at it, and be able to waveland in various directions. Now, I'm not amazing at it, but this is what it'll look like while you're practicing it. Something like this. And you can get much faster at it than I am. This is one of the #1 things that I need to work on right now, especially because I'm a bit rusty with Falco. And you want to be able to do this because it's a lot easier to execute than multi-shining. And in some cases, although Westballz shine is known to be shield grabbable after the second shine, Westballz shining can actually be better in some cases, particularly when you're behind your opponent's shield, because shine's a little bit bigger in the back and you're not at nearly as much danger of being reversaled when you're hitting someone behind their shield. So learn how to do this, especially at a lower level. This will get you tons of totally free openings on people who are just going to shield grab after that first shine. So work on that. Make sure to mash that, spam it out when you're learning. And then we'll move on to the next thing. So next, you're going to want to learn to shield drop shine. This is pretty useful It gets a little bit less good the better your opponent is because they'll start to play around it, but you do need to represent it at least. So it's as simple as that. You shield drop and you shine. You basically do this in response to your shield being hit on a platform. It forces your opponent to respect you a lot more and space moves a lot more effectively. And when you learn to do this, all you got to do is simply shield drop and press down B. You can make it sort of one motion. If you do the modern shield drop method where you stick the shield out and then you roll to the notch below like that, you just keep rolling and do a shine and then punish your opponent afterwards. You gotta be able to do this. I can't stress this enough. It makes the platform so much safer for Falco. You can get tons of free openings off of this too. There are plenty of people that you have probably lost to on ranked that I could beat just by doing this to open them up. And you can beat them too, is my point. I'm not trying to brag. What I'm saying is this is such a powerful neutral game tool that if you learn to do this, you're just immediately going to be better, assuming you don't already know how to do it. So please learn to do that. You use it as a reversal. It's pretty self-explanatory. Your shield gets hit, boom, you pop out with the shield drop shine. It's even faster than doing a shine out of shield off the ground. However, that is what we're going to talk about next. You will not always find yourself on the platform, so you must learn how to shine out of shield. How do you do it? You just jump and then you shine, but there are a couple of pitfalls that can make it a little bit harder to shine out of shield. So, the number one thing is people who jump with X, they tend to slide from A to B, or from X to B when they're multi-shining, and they'll accidentally tap A as they go over. If you do that, you'll end up shield grabbing like this whenever you try to shine out of shield, because it will actually accept the A input since you're holding block and turn it into a jump cancel grab. So you're going to want to either use Y to shine out of shield or Z if you're a Z jumper. I really do not recommend jumping with up to shine out of shield because that buffers the jump and you won't know exactly when to time your shines, so you won't be able to get it every time. I recommend, with Falco in particular, just press your jump button, move over to B, and just get an airborne shine because it's a lot more consistent. Falco's shine out of shield is meant to punish things that are really, really obviously unsafe rather than being this quick get-off-me option like Fox's shine is. It's this enormous reversal. You can almost think of it like Falco's version of shield grabbing. You should be doing this quite often, especially, again, at the lower level where people are more likely to do something unsafe and unspaced on your shield. So you need to learn how to do this, or you're just going to have a huge hole in your game that's going to screw you over. As with every other thing that I've shown so far, every single person who has any amount of success in this game with Falco can do this. So please don't put off learning it. Don't say something like, I'm not good enough to learn that yet, or whatever cope you're going to come up with to say that you don't need to do this. If you're just playing casually, that's fine. This video is for people who want to win. For tryhards, buy a tryhard. So I'm not trying to see any stupid-ass comments about, oh, well, I don't have time to practice this, or what if I have a job? Bro, I got a job too, okay? I got a job. I'm not trying to hear this bullshit. Just learn how to do this if you're trying to win. And then lastly, my little rant's over, get to the last thing, it's to shine tech chase people on platforms. This is the most complicated, I think, out of everything that I've represented. It's going to take a little bit of abstraction to know what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can get the game to teleport Samus up here. There we go. So, when you hit someone with the shine sometimes, they will get knocked into the air, particularly against fast fallers. This scenario is more likely. They will end up on one of these side platforms, and you will want to continue the juggle by hitting them with shine. A lot of Falcos, especially the shittier they are, they'll get stuck like this, and then the combo is over. Or they'll do something like that and kill themselves. Now, we don't want to do that, so how do you actually get the Shine Waveland tech chase on people on platforms? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. First thing you're going to want to do, to jump up on the platform, you full hop. So, you can't short hop to do this. You need a full jump, and then you're going to hit the Shine when you're about halfway through the platform so that you don't get a Shine land on accident, which looks like that. So you'll hit them around there. If you believe your opponent's going to miss their tech or tech in place, just go for that immediately. Jump up there, go for it, right where they land, go for a shine, and then wave land onto the platform. Now, if you believe that your opponent is going to roll left or right, wait, don't jump up to the platform, see which way they roll, and then follow them. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to pretend that Samus is a character that's tech rolling to the right, and you would jump up, shine turn around like that, and then waveland afterwards. Alternatively, you can jump up and then just waveland back like that. You will get stuck in shine a bit doing that if you're not ready to do it. So you have to commit mentally to which one of these you want to do beforehand. And that's because while you're turning around, your input will get eaten for a few frames. I believe it's 3. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know. You can feel this one out. You don't need to know the frame data on this. The point being, you have to commit to either shining and then jumping and then moving the stick to do your waveland so that you don't get this kind of thing where you're stuck. It's hard to get stuck on purpose, but you get the idea. You don't want to be moving the stick while you don't want to be jumping while you're in the middle of turnaround. So you will shine, jump, then move the stick, and then waveland if you want to do this one. Now, if you're okay with doing the turnaround, then you want to make sure you deliberately wait for Falco to turn around before you waveland. That's very important. You can't be missing these platform tech chases. I see Falcos do this the most out of every character in the game. It's like someone pops up on a platform and they're just totally fucking lost. Meanwhile, the Fox they're playing against understands his platform tech chase completely and will get the up air or be safe for being incorrect every single time without fail. You need to be able to do this. Hopefully, that makes sense conceptually. If it doesn't make sense to you, there's many other resources for learning how to do these techs. This video is mostly meant as a reminder for people who pretty much already know what all of these things are, but for some reason or another, they're putting off learning them. If you needed a sign, this is your sign. You got to learn how to do all 5 of these things. If you can't do them, you ain't beating me. And if you ain't beating me, you're not winning any money at the tournaments. And isn't that the point of this whole shit, right? You're trying to win. So learn how to do this shit. Very, very, very important.